What's up, everybody? Christian Lockhart from National College Preps. I'm here with my guy from All Sports Training, Rayfield Ragland, and we're here to present the new series called Table Talk. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Great to be here, man. Doing great.
Listen, we've been talking about doing something for how long?
A number of years. We're not talking about days, weeks, or months. We've been talking years.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm excited because you know what it is. We're here to help these kids, man, get through whatever it is. And we're gonna talk about whatever's on the table. You know me, I'm wide open. We're gonna do whatever we do.
That's the biggest thing that we all need to remember is that everything that we talk about, everything we do has to benefit the kids in some form. And I think a lot of times when we start talking about a variety of different things, we leave the kids out of the discussion. We
Absolutely.
get to talking as adults, but we don't think about talking as adults about kids and how we can actually develop the kids and just get them to understand certain things about what they need to do to develop, not just as an athlete, but as a person.
You said something just now, you know me, it sparked my interest. We talk about the adult phase of it. We can get into something controversial because it's almost like, okay, so we talk about, everybody's looking at this hashtag scholarship, stuff. Who's that for though? Is that for the kids? Is that for the parent these days?
Well, that's the thing that I see a lot of. I see a lot of parents trying to live their life through their kids.
Mm,
They're trying to get the scholarship not so much for the kids, but for themselves to quote unquote make themselves look good to say that my child is going here, my child is going there. But it shouldn't even be like that.
yeah. See, that's interesting because I get caught up because people get mad at me when I say, I'm like, listen, okay, so is this about the kid or is this a business decision for yourself?
Right, right,
You
right.
know, and
And,
so
that, and man,
people
you see
people
it.
get mad when I start talking like that, but I'm just asking a question.
Well, see, the thing about it is more of a reality check. One person may get it, one person may not get it because you can come at them that way and say, hey, is this for you or just for the kid? Now, some parents may
Right.
step back and be like, you know what? I never thought about it like that. Maybe I need to step out of the picture and let my kid just kind of do their own thing and see what actually transform for my child. Let me get out of the picture. But then you're going to have some parents, they're going to get mad and they're going to say, how dare you say this? How dare you say that? I'm not doing this for me. Da, da, da. This is for my kid. Well, the ones that get upset are the ones that's actually using that platform to make themselves look good.
And it's usually their kid is 11 years old.
It's 7, 8.
You know what I mean? Because people tell you, I talk to people, I'm like, listen, when my kids were younger, they'd be like 10, 11 years old. People talking about scholarship, this. I'm like, they ain't even made the high school yet. I said, no coach is even going to see this kid for a couple more years yet. So what you talking about? Just relax, let the kid enjoy the sport, grow into the sport. They may like other things, let it all grow. Because at the end of the day, it's all about finding that right, academic athletic mix for that kid, no matter what level. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the way I look at it, everybody's balling now. All levels. It don't matter because everybody's playing indoors everywhere, training everywhere. So there's a finite number of spots from all divisions. One, two, three, NAIA, don't matter. Only a certain number of spots. And if everybody's balling, if you only concentrate on one level, you're missing out a lot.
And you know what, man? Now that you say that, I think that's the root to the problem right there. Is because a lot of people, because you got so many kids and so many people actually doing things that they need to do to develop, as a person, as a basketball player. And I think that's the biggest issue. Youth sports has turned into a competition
Mm,
with the adults against the adults. My
okay.
child is better. My child is doing this. My child has the best gear on. My child got the new LeBrons, and my child is playing more than your child. And it has turned into a competition for the parents, and it's taking the fun out of the sport. You wouldn't believe how many games I go to, man, and I hear grown adults in the stands complaining, yelling, having a discussion about another child on the other team. Grown adults. I mean, it
Makes no
blows
sense.
my mind to see
Yep.
them look at youth sports as a competition.
Yeah. And then the funny thing is, you look at these kids, they all know each other.
Mm-hmm.
They all know each other. And then they fall back and some of them be like, once they get older, man, I can't wait to get up out this house.
Mhm.
'cause they be the ones, they don't really want to do it
But you know the
because they get
sad thing
burnt
about it
out.
though, man? The sad thing about it is this. Think about what you just said. The kids know each other.
Hmm.
But when you get the parents involved, now the parent is in the car talking about the child's friend. They get home, they're talking about the child's friend. Now, all of a sudden, that good friend that this child had now becomes an enemy because of what mom and dad is discussing in the car, what mom
Yep.
and dad is discussing at home. Now they're looking at their friend a different way because of what they heard from the parent. I tell people all the time, everything a child needs to learn about life and about sports is going to come through what they hear
Hmm.
because everything is a learning experience. Children just don't walk on the court and all of a sudden want to be a bully on the court. They pick it up somewhere. So now we got to ask ourselves, where do they pick it up at?
Hey, now I'm gonna flip it on you, right? Because think about how the kid looks at the parent. Sometimes you might have those kids who be like, man, I can't believe they're saying that to me right now, right? So now what are you doing? You're harming your relationship with your own kid. You don't even realize
Mm-hmm.
it, right? So now they're harboring that because they're gonna keep harping on that other that their friend who they're probably talking to more than they do the parent anyway, whether it be through the thumbs on social or whatever, through texting, on the phone. Kids don't make phone calls anymore, but so it's all thumb down, thumb beating. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, you could be ruining a relationship with your own kid on the low. You're burning them out inside and outside. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we gotta step back and look at that. You know what I mean? That's
You
that's
know,
that's dangerous.
it draws a lot of stress on the child too because now it's going to cause a lot of confusion, and then when you
Mhm.
cause confusion, you cause an anxiety. So now all of a sudden you see more kids panicking, you see more kids breaking down, and a lot of parents wonder why is my child going through this? Well, it might be because they're going through the stuff because so many things is being thrown at them, and they're confused about what it is they need to be thinking. They don't know what to say next. They don't know what to do next. And it's all because of this confusion, this cloud that's in front of them that they got to kind of peel their way through to try to figure out how am I going to see to the other side when I got all of this in front of me that I have to deal with.
And you know what, man? It's crazy because what these parents are throwing out a lot of money for these kids that play these sports too, though, playing for these organizations and traveling and,
Mhm.
and all that. So they looking at it. They want their kids to be successful. That's at the bottom line of all of it. I do recognize that because I've been down that path too. With my children. But you got to know when to pull back, and you got to also know let this kid be a kid. Perspective is everything. Everything.
Yeah, man, I have some parents that I know, and because of what you said, they pay all this money to play for these organizations and to travel. And I think if the parent approached that situation differently with their thinking, I think the outcome would be completely different.
Mhm.
So I see a lot of parents that are screaming, they're yelling at their child, you gotta play, you gotta do this, you're not doing that. And it's all because of the parent realizing the financial situation. They're realizing they're investing all this money in their child to play for this organization, to take time off on the weekends, to travel, to stay in hotels, doing all these things. And the parent is looking at their checkbook and they're like, my child just isn't doing this, just isn't doing that. So that tension there also starts because of that.
But then it goes back to circle back what we started talking about. What is your expected outcome from this,
Mhm,
right? You're
mhm,
putting your kid in this. Is it in there because you need that for education at the end of the day? Because that's what's in your mind, right? Or is it you're in it because you want your kid to experience something that's beneficial and worthwhile to them in the long run, right?
right.
Because we know what sports does for us. It's a microcosm for life, man. If it's done correctly, it's a beautiful thing. It ain't about getting to this, getting school paid for. In my book, that's a plus. That's a big
Mhm,
plus. You know what I mean? But
mhm,
again, find that balance. Period. I want my kids to play sports, play instruments, be in the play, be in drama, do all that because I want them to
mhm,
be kids. Experience things.
right.
Because the last thing I tell my kids all the time, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I wish I could have. I wish I had done. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to Dutch the other day, and we was talking. He's like, "Listen, you got two kinds of people. Everybody falls in this bucket on anything. I wish I had done this, or I'm glad I did this.
Exactly.
Nah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. We're gonna pause for a minute, take a break. You listen to Table Talk. Christian Lockhart from National College Preps and my man Rayfield Ragland from
All Sports Training.
We'll be back.